Cetaphil is ready to play. They don't just come to every game. They don't come unless they're ready to play and to win. In this case, they're here not with another face wash like some brands, that's all they seem to be able to come out with, but rather a new line of hydrating and moisturizing products aimed at, well, hydrating and firming. So this is their Skin Activator series I have been trying out. We need to talk about these moisturizers. They have a lotion, they have a big old tub of thick, rich cream, and they also have a rich face, neck, and chest cream. Yes, they do. So what's the story here? First of all of these products are fragrance-free. Woohoo. Thank you, Cetaphil. Love fragrance-free because, especially products, as a side note, that are heavily scented, that go on at nighttime, I feel like sometimes they kind of mess up my sleep. Like when I try that Jazzy Tree Hut Jelly Bear Sugar Scrub, I feel like it keeps me awake somehow. Like I'll roll over and I'll be like, is there candy stuck in my hair? Oh no, it's the sugar scrub. Anyway, I digress. So no fragrance in these. What they have going for them is mandelic acid. So mandelic acid is an alpha hydroxy acid. Alpha hydroxy acids include glycolic, lactic, and well, mandelic. And they hydrate the skin. They're humectants, but they also exfoliate. And through their exfoliating and hydrating effects together, they help to smooth and subtly firm the skin by improving water content and by improving cell turnover. Mandelic acid is the gentlest of the alpha hydroxy acids that you commonly encounter. Because mandelic acid helps to exfoliate the skin, it's really good for reducing buildup of dry, rough skin texture. Like for example, if you are inclined to rough and bumpy skin, it's a good ingredient to consider to maintain the smoothness of your skin. Because it's so gentle, you might not get significant reduction in rough bumps acutely. So if you have a big flare up of KP, you may find that you are losing patience with mandelic acid, that you get faster results with glycolic or ammonium lactate, which is the salt of lactic acid. But mandelic acid, I find for rough and bumpy skin, is actually a really great option just as maintenance. For example, some people like to use more of mechanical exfoliation to reduce the bumps that are flared up. If that's something you do, then you might want to consider mandelic acid just to sort of maintain the smoothness of your skin and help support better turnover and natural exfoliation in a gentle fashion, simultaneously hydrating the skin and helping to reduce flare-ups. Mandelic acid also may help to improve some hyperpigmentation just by improving skin cell turnover. It may hasten the clearance of it, help enlightening it, and again can firm the skin, which is something that with age people are more concerned with, because with age we lose a lot of the supportive framework in the deeper layers of the skin. Plus our skin is less able to retain water as barrier function declines with age, and a lot of the natural moisturizing factors are just not being produced optimally. So ingredients that help improve water content, such as alpha hydroxy acids, they really can pay off dividends for the firmness of the skin just by improving water content. And they also secondarily help to improve the natural turnover processes of the skin, the natural exfoliation, because that too declines with age. And part of why it declines is it needs water to move along at a more reasonable rate. So by hydrating, you help support better barrier turnover and long-term barrier function. So the hydrating claim is definitely supported by the ingredient mandelic acid. These products also have Centella asiatica leaf extract, which we talk a lot about on this channel, a botanic that has anti-inflammatory properties, may help ward off oxidative stress that contributes to the visible signs of skin aging, and may support better barrier recovery, healing of the skin. It's even been examined in some studies looking at radiation dermatitis and shows promise there for supporting healing and ultimately for helping with improving the final appearance of scars in some cases. Centella asiatica extract in these products is encapsulated, which is interesting. I don't know if that is typical, certainly not typical for brands to point it out, but encapsulation helps to ensure better stability and in some cases may also allow for better penetration of the ingredient into the skin. You know, you can have the most exciting, amazing ingredient, but if the overall formulation does not allow that ingredient to either remain stable or to penetrate into the skin, it is useless and potentially just irritating you. So I am happy to see that formulation note, and it gives me a bit more confidence in the overall formulation above and beyond my love of all things Centella at baseline. Anyway, it's like, oh wow, and this is encapsulated. So maybe it is a little bit more reliable than everyday products containing this ingredient. These products do not have niacinamide. Niacinamide is a B vitamin that I love, but some people find that it burns and stings. And a lot of Cetaphil products these days are including niacinamide. In fact, they reformulated a lot of their classic products and added niacinamide, which a lot of people hate because they don't get along with the ingredient. It's a great ingredient, but if you're one of the few who do not tolerate it, well, then Cetaphil you may have dismissed, like, ugh, thanks, gotta break up with you now. Well, these do not have niacinamide. So how do they differ then? Like, how do they differ? The differences are subtle. So starting with the cream, this is meant to go on the body. They don't say anything in the marketing materials of this, the directions about putting this on the face, but you know me, I like to push things to their limits. I have put this on my face with no problems. It is very thick, it's very rich. It's got glycerin, it's got sunflower seed oil, and it's got dimethicone. So dimethicone helps to reduce water loss, glycerin's super hydrating, and sunflower seed oil helps soften and smooth dry, rough skin. These are classic moisturizing ingredients. This product I have used comfortably on the face, no burning, no stinging, no irritation, and I've even used it around my eyes as an eye cream. Yeah, you know me, I'm gonna push the limits, and it's been great. This product, however, does go on a little on the streaky side, but it's nice and moisturizing. And the following morning, you wake up, at least for me, and my skin is still moisturized, still hydrated, looks good. Great, as a side note, to put on after shaving. I thought, oh, mandelic acid, it might burn and sting, because sometimes urea, a keratolytic ingredient that I love, you put it on after shaving, it's like, whew, feels a little spicy, feels a little spicy. You don't get a spicy tingle with this mandelic acid. Here is another place I have tried putting this under my arms to help moisturize them after shaving, which can be helpful for reducing irritation. The mandelic acid might actually help cut down on the types of bacteria that break down sweat and make you smell. You gotta be careful though, mandelic acid can be very irritating under the arms, but I think formulated, the way this product is formulated, I think it is one that you might try in that way. Just be aware that it can be more irritating under the arms, and they don't make any claims that it can be used under the arms, they just say to the body. So we're kind of left to guess. Does that mean under the arms too? I had no issue, but it doesn't mean it wouldn't cause issue for you under the arms. I'm gonna have a video coming out about underarm lightening where I bring up a lot of the issues of using ingredients under the arms. It may already be up at this point. I don't know. It's filmed. It just needs to be edited and made into something presentable. Anyway, I digress. A note about the mandelic acid too that I forgot to mention in these products is that it also helps keep the skin pH, more to where it wants to be. And that's great because pH of the skin barrier is really important for, they used to talk about the acid mantle all the time. It was kind of vague and we're like, okay, whatever you say. But it really is important because if the pH gets disrupted too much, like by using very caustic things that raise the pH, it leads to a barrier disruption and barrier issues and a lot of irritation. So the mandelic acid may help support the pH needs of the skin, if you will. And like I said, ultimately that may help cut down on body odor by supporting a more healthy microbiome that is less inclined to accumulate the types of bacteria that break down sweat and lead to odor. So I really like this quite a bit. It doesn't have any kind of funky odor though. Sometimes fragrance-free products, the aroma of the raw materials can be a little like, oh, okay. Not the case with this. It's been great. And so I had to get the skin activator that's marketed for face, neck, and chest because the ingredients in this are very, very similar to the cream. And I was like, are these really that different? I needed to try it out because this one is a bit more lightweight. But I love the fact that they talk about using this on the face, the neck, and the chest because you do need to be careful with the products that you put on your neck because neck skin is delicate and it is prone to irritation from certain ingredients like alpha hydroxy acids. But mandelic acid is the gentler of the alpha hydroxy acids. So it's nice that this is a product that they have presumably tested out on delicate delicate neck skin. I've been tolerating it just fine. Neck skin is gonna acquire age-related change more appreciably, arguably, because it's delicate, it has fewer oil glands, it sees a lot of sun exposure and environmental aggressors, and it's often neglected territory. Alpha hydroxy acids can have some anti-aging benefit provided they are tolerated, which, like I just said, they often are not well tolerated on delicate neck skin, but this might just be the right formulation to deliver that ingredient in a safe and gentle fashion to neck skin. So I've been using it that way, and I really do appreciate almost an instant plumping and smoothing effect to just diminish the appearance of little neck wrinkles. That has been fantastic. Also great for the upper chest, another more sensitive yet vulnerable territory that sees a lot of sun exposure depending on the kind of outfits that you choose to wear throughout your life, and you know, bathing suits and the whatnot. And you can acquire a lot of sun damage on the upper chest. And so this is a great product to help just hydrate, smooth, plump the surface of the skin and rejuvenate the appearance of aging skin on the upper chest. So like I said, this one is pretty similar to the cream I just talked about, but it is a little bit more lightweight. It feels ever so slightly more comfortable on the face. That being said, it is a very rich cream. I would use this as the final step in the nighttime skincare routine to just kind of lock everything in. I would put it on after tretinoin, not before, because I'm just not confident that tretinoin would penetrate this. It is very thick, very rich, but it is great. I've also used this around my eyes as an eye cream, no problem. That has been great as well. This one goes on a little bit streaky too, like the other one. And honestly, I think a lot of that boils down to perhaps the glycerin. Sometimes glycerin is a fantastic ingredient, but it can kind of make the product a little bit more streaky, for lack of a better descriptor, as far as how it goes on. And that may be what's going on. Now, on the other hand, the lotion, the Skin Activator lotion, this is one that is marketed for full body, suitable for aging, thinning, and fragile skin. And this one has shea butter in it, whereas the others do not. This one also has pantolactone, a B vitamin, not niacinamide, but B5, which is very moisturizing and may help defend against some age-related change as well. It does have sunflower seed oil. It's just a little bit different of a overall formulation. And I think those tweaks in the formula, it still has mandelic acid, it still has the encapsulated centella, but it's got the shea butter. It goes on much more elegantly. It's a lot smoother. It doesn't have that patchy application. It's more lightweight. It gives that quench feeling, and it absorbs a lot faster. So this is one where if you don't like thick, rich creams all over the place, you might want to just get the lotion, because the lotion is a lot more lightweight. It does not do the streaky thing. And like I said, I've used this on the face, no problem. You get 16 ounces. And for those of you, for example, who have found my videos recommending their salicylic acid moisturizer, which is fantastic, if you didn't get along with that, it was too much for you, you have very sensitive skin, then you might try this, because it's not as much leaning to the exfoliating arm of things, but it does help to maintain skin smoothness, firmness, hydration. So you might try this one instead. It's a great option. Now, I will say, while the other two that I just talked about have no aroma, again, all fragrance free, but no like raw material aroma, there is a hint in this one of, I don't know how to describe it. If you know how amlactin smells, this has a little bit of a hint of that amlactin aroma that a lot of people talk about. It's not as strong as what you get from amlactin, but it definitely is there. So if you hate that, you know, just keep that in mind. You might not care for this, but it's really good. It's a really good formula. It has great ingredients. It doesn't have a whole lot else going on besides, I mean, none of these do. They're not really pushing a bunch of long ingredient lists with a ton of ingredients, which can be good still, you know, depending on what all is going on. But you got mandelic, you got the centella. I think they really are in a formula that has precision, has a stability, the correct delivery system, and these are really fantastic, and you can use them on the face and body. Do you need all three? No. But hopefully this video kind of points you in the direction of where you might want to go as far as what you are hoping to use it for, if that's something you're thinking of, and where you might want to use it. Are you going to use these just on the face, neck, and chest? Well, you might be inclined to get the one marketed for face, neck, and chest, that cream. Or are you like me and you like to use things from head to toe, in and out, on the go? Then take it from me. The other two you. I used them on my face, even though they're not marketed that way. No problem, but they do have some textural differences, which may not be to your liking. So that's up to you to decide. But I hope this video was helpful and informative and that you enjoyed it. If so, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and as always, don't forget, sunscreen and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.